Hello everybody, it's Holly. So I am out taking care of some errands at the moment and thought that I would take a moment before I move on to the next thing to share something with you guys that has just really been laid on my heart. And so I'm going to read a passage from the Bible, and I've done this before in a couple of my other videos. It's been a while. So I will share stuff like this occasionally because I do feel like it's encouraging and that it can help people. So anyways, long story short, I do consider myself a non-denominational Christian, but I do not force my beliefs on anyone. I do not expect anyone to believe what I believe, but I would like to share this on my channel today. And so we're going to be reading from the book of 1 Peter. And we're going to read verses 4 through 19. And so I'm going to read it first, and then I'm going to talk about it. So I have it bookmarked here so I can find where I was, and then I'm going to read it to you. So, alright, I'm going to set the phone down. I hope you can see me okay. There we go. Alright, so the passage, the verses start here, and it's going to start in verse 12, 1 Peter 4, and it says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. But rejoice inasmuch as you are partakers of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you might be glad also with exceeding joy. If you are reproached for the name of Christ, happy are you, for the Spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yet if any man suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify God on his behalf. For the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of God, and if it first begun at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of God? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Wherefore let them suffer according to the will of God, commit and keeping of their souls to him in well-doing, as unto a faithful Creator." So that's all I'm going to read, and I'm just going to kind of talk about it for a second. So I found this passage about 2.5 years ago when I was going through like the worst, hardest time in my life. And I mean, it was like, it was just so bad. And I came across this and I found so much encouragement through these particular verses. And then again, the following year, which was last year, something else really, really horrible, even worse happened. And I was in a situation where everything just seemed so dark and so hopeless. And you know, I think that at some point in our lives, everyone is going to feel that way at least once, if not twice, if not like a million times, quite honestly. So I think what this passage is telling us is that we are, you know, we're living in just such uncertain times, in such a crazy day and age that's just getting crazier as the years go by, as the months and the years go by. And I think this year, 2020, has definitely shown us that. So, and this is obviously pointing out that we're all going to suffer, no matter who we are, no matter how we set up our lives and expect our lives to go, no matter how hard we work, no matter how many hours we put in, no matter what we do and how much we try to be the best that we can be. And I think this is something a lot of people don't comprehend and they don't understand. They're like, oh, well, I did this and this, and, you know, I put forth all this effort and all this energy, and this is what has become of my life. This is what has happened to me. You know, whether it's I lost my child, or I lost my spouse, or I've gotten really sick and I have cancer. There are just so many different things, and it's like people don't understand, and they feel like, you know, they don't deserve it. And you don't. No one deserves to live in suffering and to live in pain. But the Bible tells us that we will endure suffering in this life, in this world. And it began in the Garden of Eden. And so this just really helped me, because the very first verse in 1 Peter 4:12, when it says, "Beloved, think it not strange concerning the fiery trial, which is to try you, as though something strange were happening to you." So this is the King James Version, and it's not my favorite, but this is what I have with me right now. But basically, to put it more in layman's terms, this verse just says, "Beloved, do not think it's weird when, the fiery trial comes against you to test you. For this you will suffer in this world." So I found a lot of comfort in this, because it's not just me. It's not just, when I am suffering, I realize I'm not the only one, because everybody else is suffering in some way, shape, or form, some more than others, and it will come and go throughout your life based on different circumstances. So, and then if we go down a little bit further, and let's see, it talks about, let's see, I don't know, I really just like all of this. I like all of these verses. So, but when you go down, it says, "But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters." And that hit me hard too. A busybody in other men's matters. So basically, getting in other people's business, gossiping, those are just as bad as other sins and other things. I've never been a gossiper. I don't gossip. I don't talk badly about people. I don't find it entertaining. I don't take any pleasure in it. Unfortunately, a lot of people do. It's a huge epidemic in our society, especially today, but this dates way back. I mean, people have been gossiping since the beginning of time. And it's really sad, but the Bible's telling us, don't do that. Don't get up in other people's business and other people's matters. Like, just leave it alone. Let God take care of it, and it's so sad. It's so hard for people to do that, because they're just narrow-minded, and they're just so narrow in their thinking that they don't comprehend. But I feel like, reading the Bible and engaging yourself, it can really help us so much to understand, and finding the right passages and trusting that God will, send you the right verses to read for your particular situation. And so this passage right here has helped me so much, just over the past few years, the past 2 or 3 years, since, some things have come about in my life. And, and I still suffer from time to time. We all do. So anytime I'm suffering, I can go to this passage and read these verses, and I find it very encouraging. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to share in regards to this, but I think that's pretty much the gist of it. I think in a nutshell, this is just telling us, like, hey, look, you're gonna suffer. It's just the way of the world and this life that we live in. But ultimately, there is life beyond this life, and it will not always be this way. And so every day is gonna be different. Every month, every year, like even by the hour, things can change. Things are different. And so you could wake up one day and be feeling the most miserable you felt in your whole entire life. And then, 2 hours later, maybe you have a miracle. Maybe something amazing happens that changes your course. So no matter what happens to you, and we have to understand there's so many things in life that are just not within our control. And so we will suffer regardless. It doesn't matter if you, never sleep and work yourself, 24/7, whether it's for money, whether it's your education, how many degrees you have, how much you think you've accomplished, and how much better you think you are than somebody else. It's just, you will suffer. No matter what. And so hopefully this helps to ease your suffering today, if you needed to hear this. So yeah, I hope this helps, and that's about all I wanted to share for today. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.